Shalom, it's your brother Watazak. First and foremost, want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash, Kahallah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakathah. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone who rule well and taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I just wanted to, just do a quick hit, man. It's always an interesting topic. Let me just start off with the scripture, man. This is one of the curses in Deuteronomy prophesied over the Israelites. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So that just, kind of talks about the current state that the world views, Israelites, both past and present. But, one of the persons that I wanted to get kind of put in the limelight here is this guy. Not actually him, but, through speculation and historical value and just lining up the truth with movie accounts and different historical references, you have a connection between Egyptology's Imhotep, okay, and the biblical figure of Joseph, son of Israel or son of Jacob. All right, the youngest son that was, if you go into the stories, and I believe it's Genesis, I want to say start at 36 or something, and just read to the end. That kind of tells the story of Joseph, where, just to sum it up, he was sold into slavery by his older brothers into Egypt, where, the Lord's spirit was on him and he was able to interpret dreams. And then eventually the Pharaoh had a dream and Joseph was able to interpret it. I'm going to just grab that. Okay. This is, what is it? This is 41. I'm going to start at Salakia. Okay, I'm going to start at 37. All right, now this is after Joseph had already told the Pharaoh the dream of the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of famine. All right, and 37, it says, and the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? It just tells you right there that Joseph was a man of the Lord that was imbued with the spiritual power to be able to interpret dreams, man. It was like the same spirit that was on Daniel. All right. It says, and Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than you. So there you have it, where Pharaoh is giving Joseph basically the highest seat under the Pharaoh to rule over in Egypt. Okay, and 41. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it on to Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck, and made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand and foot in the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphenath-Paneah, and he gave him a wife, Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, and Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. So basically, you have Joseph, exhibiting those gifts that were bestowed upon him by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and the Pharaoh taking favor in him. And ultimately, it was the Lord's plan, because through this is how Egypt became great. All right. If you go into the different historical accounts of Imhotep, then you'll find out that he was also one of the reasons that Egypt became great, known as the master architect, or the person. Matter of fact, I actually have it pulled up here. Okay, so this is by Betty Rhodes. Just a little synopsis of her interpretation. I'm sure from the same sources I was looking at. This is on the red thread. It says, was Imhotep and Joseph the same person? Imhotep was the world's first named architect who built Egypt's first pyramid, and is often recognized as the world's first doctor, priest, scribe, sage, poet, astrologer, vizier, and chief minister to Djoser, reigned 2630 to 2611 BC, the second king of Egypt's third dynasty. Imhotep may have lived under as many as 4 kings, and an inscription on one of the king's statue states Imhotep's titles as Chancellor of the King of Lower Egypt. That sounds like second in command to me. Or the first one under the king. That sounds like second in command to me. And the administrator of the great mansion, the hereditary noble, the high priest Heliopolis, the chief sculptor, and finally the chief carpenter, which kind of goes hand in hand, man, on how all of these things could very well be how Joseph made Egypt great. Well, that's how Joseph made Egypt great. He built up the temples. He built up the silos that held the food. And you'll see that as well in some other documents I'll bring out. All right. Matter of fact, right here, the architect of the Saqqara step pyramid, Imhotep, after he became deified, came to be regarded as the son of Ptah. I'm not going to go into any of that Egyptology bullshit, but that just goes to show you, that the Egyptology figure, Imhotep and Joseph, could very well be the same person, because in the pyramid of Saqqara, there were underground silos. All right. And it speaks about those silos being used to basically save Egypt and the surrounding lands from the famine that was predicted in the dream that was interpreted by Joseph. And if you look at the different names that they're known by, all right, Imhotep and Joseph, you'll see here right on the screen, both known as the second in command of the Pharaoh, lived to be about 110, great architect and builder, stored up corn for 7 years, saw 7 years of famine and fed the people, and was the interpreter of dreams, built pyramid and palaces. Okay? The name Zaphanath Paneah is the preserver of life, or physician servants. And Imhotep is known as the first physician. Okay? Instituted as income taxes the 1/5, same as Imhotep. Married into the priesthood of On. Married into the priesthood of Heliopolis, which is On. Knowledge of astrology on both of them. Hey, man, you could just see it, man. Okay? So the people try to debunk the theory to say that the time periods don't line up, but all of Egyptology history, none of it is in chronological order. So the only way to really put it in order is by way of the scriptures, man. All right? Okay, Joseph was Imhotep. This is from Ark Discovery. All right? I think this is like a Christian website, but nonetheless, all right, he built the first pyramid in Egypt at Saqqara and stored grain in the underground silos. You can see the picture of one of those underground silos right here. All right. National Geographic 95, January 95, describes a man called Imhotep who saved his country from a famine. Perhaps most confident was Imhotep, the architect who probably conceived of building Djozer's tomb completely from stone. Known as a sculptor, a priest, a healer, Imhotep is considered the preeminent genius of the Old Kingdom. He assembled one workforce to quarry limestone to ship the crude blocks by boat to Saqqara and yet another to haul the stone to the site where master carver shaped each block and put it into place. Hey, man, so, that's just more discovery right there, man. Okay? You see here, it said in 1890, Charles Wilbur discovered this boulder on the Isle of Sahel at the Nile, telling the story of Imhotep. All right? And it talks about an annual Nile flood, which inundated surrounding fields every autumn before the farmers sowed their seed. It failed 7 years in a row, which corroborates the prophecy speaking about the 7 years of famine, man. So, this is just more proof, man. All right? And, but like I said, man, even the great Joseph, Deuteronomy 28:37, it says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee." Man, so here in America, the great Joseph has been reduced to this guy. You know what I mean? This demon. All right? And ultimately, it's because we still in the land of our captors. All right? If you go to Exodus, Salakia. All right. And it says, Exodus 1, verse 7, "And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mightily, and the land was filled with them." So Israel's greatness came from the multitude of Israelites and all of the works that, starting with Joseph, the Israelites put in, okay? And then it says, verse 8, "Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph." So that corroborates with the article I just read, which referred to Imhotep as the highest ruler in the main reason of the success of the old kingdom of Egypt. Because this is that new kingdom when it's talking about, "Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, and let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that they there falleth out any war. They join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses." Okay? "But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field, and in all service wherein they made them serve was their rigor." Okay? So therein you have, the building of the new kingdom, man. They said that, basically now where we were the reason that Israel was built up to be a great nation, okay, serving even the land surrounding it, making sure the survival of all the people around because of the wisdom that come obviously from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai unto Joseph and the teachings that he had for his people and the Egyptians. But now, of course, the pharaohs saw that the children of Israel were mighty, man. We were smart, Anywhere we go, we multiply, you know. Okay, we very fruitful, we geniuses, strong, you know, and that made the pharaohs fearful, man. And it says that the pharaoh didn't know Joseph. Okay, so he didn't consider that the greatness of Egypt come from, you know, bringing in the Israelites, you know, and you know, in the future aspect, obviously, that would then be the undoing of Egypt. You know, once the Israelites finally left during the Exodus, but that's another topic, man. And with that, I give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and like the elders say, we on to the next one. Shalom.